Well, good afternoon. I hope you're all having a phenomenal day. I just got in my car. I wheeled around. I wheeled about 10.3 kilometers in 58 minutes in my awesome wheelchair. And during that time, I had some time to think. Quite a bit, actually. And I want to share with you what I was thinking about. I grew up in a religious home. I grew up in a home where religion was number one in our lives. I grew up in a home under a very authoritative man called my father. He was an extremely abusive man. And one thing that has really I've been pondering the last few days is this exact thought. Religion and mental health. Where does it stand with you? Where does it stand with me? Well, we all have different opinions on it, and I want to share my opinion and the knowledge I have gained from living a beautiful life, experiencing mental health in my family, with my father having bipolar, my brother having bipolar. And I want to share with you today the thoughts that I've been overwhelmed with. In our home growing up, the minister of our church, members of our church, would often say, when my dad was initially diagnosed with bipolar, for example, or my brother, they would go manic or they would go high because it is an imbalance of the brain which causes the bipolar. And they had to go on medications to settle things out with their mood disorders. But the members of my church would right away blame my father, blame my brother, and say the reason they were having mental health problems was because of a spiritual problem. We grew up under that type of authority. I call that spiritual abuse. And just listen me out. I want to share with you why I feel that way. It says in the Bible that Jesus Christ will be there for us. He will hold our hand when times get tough. And what I'm inspired by is that verse is so brutally true. It came so clear to me, though, that just because somebody's going through a mental health emergency or mental health troubles does not mean nothing, that they're not living a Christian or spiritual life like we were taught to believe. It seems to me too many people I grew up with would think negatively against mental illness and think that obviously sin has been committed for a person to have a mental illness. And when you talk to a psychiatrist, they would disagree completely and say mental illness is not something you wish for or want to happen. It's something that just comes out of the blue and are diagnosed with. And a lot of times people who've experienced trauma in their lives, who've experienced traumatic events in their lives, or have had ADHD or ADD as a child, quite often are diagnosed with bipolar or some form of depression disorder. That's what I've noticed with my growing up years with my brother and my father. But today I'm just inspired to say, Christian people, including myself, let's not judge others just because they maybe have a mental health issue and they do things because possibly they're manic or they're in a severe depression, or if they quit taking their medication, they right away get judged and think, oh my, personal, spiritual problems, here we come, when that has zero effect on that whatsoever. I just wanted to share that today because it's been a burden on my heart. That spiritual life with Jesus Christ has nothing to do with mental illness. I can believe, though, if somebody has hatred and unforgiveness all their life, that possibly could bring on mental illness. But it seems to me there's way too many Christian people who believe that when somebody is having a mental health issue, they right away blame spirituality for it and right away convict them of spiritual fornication or a harsh crime in the church. And brothers and sisters, it has absolutely nothing to do with that today. Just some things I've experienced in my life, and this is a heart matter that I've wanted to share for a while. And I just thought I'd share it today. Love you all. God bless you.